So anyway, now back to cooking with Grandpa. We're going to make traditional spaghetti sauce from scratch. And this is something that you need to know how to do. And it's certainly not difficult. But take minced garlic, regular old minced garlic, put a little in the bottom of a pan. And when I say a little, I know that can drive you crazy because you can't, this is not the sort of thing you really measure. But you're going to put maybe like half a teaspoon or less in the, I'm going to go ahead and finish that off. We're going to put, half a teaspoon or so in the bottom of, sorry, I'm making a lot of noise there, in the bottom of a pan. And this minced garlic is in the produce area at your local grocery store. We're just going to put some of that in the bottom of a saucepan that we can cover. And then I'm pouring in olive oil in there with it, and just enough olive oil to, olive oil, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. All right. And we put that on the stove. And we start to heat it up. Now what you have to do here is be very, very careful not to burn that garlic and olive oil in the bottom of that pan. So the way I'm going to keep from doing that is I'm going to go ahead and open my other ingredients. The point is that when this, you don't want the garlic and olive oil to burn. So you just get it up sizzling a little bit, and then you dump in diced tomatoes. And what I use are petite cuts of diced tomatoes. It can be, they don't have to be petite cuts. Just regular old diced tomatoes will do. But anyway, 1 can of diced tomatoes and 1 can of tomato sauce, not paste, sauce. Tomato sauce. Now, we're going to actually bring this up, heat it up to, I actually let it boil just a little bitty bit around the edges. And what I'm doing now is just adding I'm just getting a little bit of water in these cans to make sure I get everything out of there. And it comes up to a total of half a can or so of water. So let's call it a half can of the large can in there. And now we're going to turn the fire up a little. All right, so the other ingredients I'm adding are parsley, and I'm sorry guys, I am not measuring these. I don't think it's critical. I just sprinkle in a little, just enough to cover the bottom. Not cover the bottom, but just to sprinkle in a little bit on the top of the sauce. And also oregano. Sprinkle on some oregano. And the last two are the most important ingredients, the basil. Basil is, and again, I just give it a good little shake in there of basil. And then once I get that going, get it up to where it just bubbles a little bit. That way, it's just enough to boil to kill any bacteria or anything that might be lurking in there. All right, and while I'm waiting for that to boil, gonna get the pan of water that we'll boil the pasta in. I'm going to get that out and get it on the stove so that it's ready to go. All right, guys, are you ready? Here's the secret ingredient to the spaghetti sauce. And you learn this, and that you will be able to you could feed 20 people with this. Just double this recipe. But the secret ingredient is sugar. Plain old everyday sugar. A tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon of sugar. And that, my friends, is the secret to the sauce. You will have a sauce that everybody loves. The other part of this is you take the, let me show you what it looks like. This is the sauce, the spaghetti sauce with the diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and the basil, parsley, and oregano. And then you take a large pot of water and you boil it, and then you put the measured amount of whatever dry pasta you're going to use. This particular night we're going to make angel hair pasta, and I'll put, for 2 people, I'll put in a half a box. So if you're cooking for 4, you would go ahead and put in the entire box in a pot of boiling water, and then you boil it for, read the directions on the box of the pasta, but you probably boil it for 10 minutes or so. Just whatever, like I said, just read the directions on the pasta, and it'll tell you how long to boil it. But the secret ingredient to the sauce is the sugar. Don't forget the sugar. I have before, and if you remember in time before you serve it, you can add the sugar at any time. If you'll notice, I didn't put the sugar in until I brought the recipe up to a boil, put the sugar in, turned it down to the lowest heat setting. I'm putting the lid on it, and it can literally sit there and simmer for hours, you know, a couple of hours, and that just makes it really, really good. All right, that's all for Cooking with Grandpa today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will continue to do more of these as time goes on. Thanks for watching, guys.